Right then, so today I'm making Sheftalia. So Sheftalia is a Greek or Cypriot mainly sausage that's served as a fast food type item. Street side sellers commonly will sell this in either pittas or you get it in restaurants with a bit of salad and it's fantastic. So what Sheftalia is, it's a sausage, but it's coated or covered with something called Caul Fat. Now Caul Fat is the intestinal separation material between any kind of animal really, but particularly mammals, lamb, sheep, pig, beef, but mainly lamb is best. And what I've done is I've soaked the Caul Fat in with some lemon juice and some water to just make it a bit more supple and usable. So it's a bit of stretchy material. I'm going to lay it down on the wet chopping board here so I can stretch it out and cut it. And what we're going to use to do that is, so how you make Sheftalia. So it's a combination of, so I'm making, what am I making now? 3 kilos of sausage meat. So it's a half of 1.5 kilos then of lamb mincemeat, 1.5 kilos of pork mincemeat. Now you want quite fatty pork and lamb mincemeat because it's a sausage and it needs that to make it all succulent. So what I'm putting in there in 3 kilos in total mix, I've made half a batch. So 1.5 kilos makes around about 40 odd sausages. They're not wrapped yet. So we've got inside there, we've got 300 grams of onions. That's for the total of 3, so it's 100 grams per kilo effectively. So you want to divide it up, you can do. Breadcrumbs, so some nice white breadcrumbs there. I'm using around about 60 grams of breadcrumbs for the total mix, so do the math. And parsley, so finely chopped parsley, really important part of this to give it a great flavour. Now that's going to be around about 40 grams of parsley, and we're also going to be using salt. So total mixture, 3 teaspoons of salt, 3 teaspoons of pepper. So it's a pretty straightforward mix to separate down into a single kilogram mix if you wanted to. Some people will like to use cinnamon and a few other things in there, but realistically it is just those simple ingredients. So you've got your onions, you've got your breadcrumbs, you've got your parsley, you've got your black pepper ground finely, and you've got your salt, and you've got your lamb mincemeat and pork mincemeat, which is readily available in the stores of 500 gram packages. So you can easily calculate that. Caul Fat isn't as easy to get. You're going to need to go to a specialist butcher's or phone up a few butchers in your local town. You'll definitely get somebody who will ask you that. So Caul Fat, C-A-U-L, Caul Fat, and you get that. It is what makes Sheftalia. I wouldn't recommend using standard sausage casing. It's just not going to give you that flavour, and it's not going to allow it to shed the fat into the barbecue, because barbecuing it, over coals or on a gas barbie is the way to do it. Now I like to also add a little bit of lemon juice in when I'm mixing it up as well. Just takes the bite away, and what lemon juice does is it also helps to penetrate the fats and give you a much better even flavour. So lemon juice, one of your super things to eat is lemon juice, and get some of that in the mix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Caul Fat, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch it out, take a piece like this, get it in a section, and over it. That's why I'm doing it here on the draining board. So what you're seeing here is effectively the intestinal tract separation, and there's a bit of a hole in there. Don't worry if it's got a bit of a hole in it, just fold it over a little bit, wrap it over there, it'll be fine. So I'm going to take the sausage meat. Now there's a few ways you can do this, but some people like to trim off all these edgings here. Any bits such as the linings, trim that off. It's dead easy to cut. Some people want to trim that off there. All good. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to roll it up like this, wrap it over a little bit, roll it up like that. 1 or 2 times rolled is fine. I'm just going to chop away. That's why a nice damp chopping board is going to make this a lot easier to do. If it wraps over a few times, there's your Sheftalia. And when you cook it, it won't look like this. It's not going to have the white parts there. It's just going to cook into a nice juicy sausage. I'm going to put that on a tray. It's not even greased, it's just a tray, non-stick tray. And then you're going to effectively work out where your next bit of Caul Fat's going to be easy enough to wrap. So there we go, it's a nice little bit there. I'll probably get one sausage out of that section there. So pick up a sausage. Don't have to trim it all off, but I do like to trim a little bit. And then that's why I'm doing it at home while my wife's out. This is my birthday treat for tomorrow, and I'm making sure she's not here going, ooh, what is that stuff you're mixing? Tuck it on the ends, tuck it over, and roll it in. And again, it doesn't matter if you get a bit of the Caul Fat on the end there, it's all gonna taste amazing. The smell of these things when you're cooking is gonna make your neighbours really, really jealous. So stretch it out nicely. If it starts to get a bit dry on your chopping board, stick a bit of lemon juice or a dab of water on there, and that will make sure that it's nice and moist. It makes it a lot easier to spread out and actually produce your Sheftalia. So as I say, it's a Cypriot specialist really. You can get it in some supermarkets that are delicatessen style, but realistically make it yourself. It's what food's all about. Making food is part of the fun, isn't it? It's not hard to do once you've done it a couple of times. Make up a few Sheftalia. So this is half my batch. I ordered about 5 kgs of Caul Fat because you're going to get quite a lot of rubbish you can't really use, so there's not really much usable on there. So next piece of Caul Fat, put it down, stretch it out, see whether you've got a nice piece big enough to fit a sausage in, trim off the excess. So I'm looking for a pretty small sausage for this one. Have I got a little small one there? Yeah, just about. Doesn't matter if it doesn't fit completely, you know, you just wrap it over, give it a bit of a stretch, it'll fit. And then roll it in, tuck over the ends. If you get a bit of straggly left over, wrap it over. No problem at all. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you get a bit left over. When it's on the barbecue, you're going to need to cook these a little bit longer than you would do a normal sausage. So recommendation is cut one in half. So do a batch on the barbecue, cut one in half. Make sure it's nice. I mean, you will get pink from the pork. You need to make sure it's cooked properly. But don't worry about the length of time. You just got to go by feel and touch. So cut one in half, see how it looks. So a nice big piece here, and leave the veiny piece in there. It's not a vein, but it's just a strengthening part of the Caul Fat. Chuck another sausage on. All I'm going to do there is go, right, well, it's sort of going to be around about here, so cut along there, all good. Wrap him over, tuck it in, tuck in the ends, and there's your Sheftalia. They look amazing, and believe me, when you cook these, you are going to be super, super happy as well. So feel free to post your own pictures of you making this stuff, or ideally the cooking of this stuff, because that's what it's all about. And maybe I'll stick some other videos on about Greek specialities or Cypriot type dishes. But have fun, make them, get people round to help you if you can do. Obviously it's a bit icky for my wife to sort of help me with this one, so she's not interested at all. But yeah, get some friends around who love food. This is going to really tickle their taste buds. Get them on board doing this. All right, apart from that, happy cooking. videos on about Greek specialities or Cypriot type dishes. But have fun, make them, get people round to help you if you can do. Obviously it's a bit icky for my wife to sort of help me with this one, so she's not interested at all. But yeah, get some friends around who love food. This is going to really tickle their taste buds, get them on board doing this. Alright, apart from that, happy cooking. Maybe dub some music over this bit. That's it, give it a stretch. Tuck and roll, tuck and roll. Chop. Sheftalia. Nope, none left on that one. this? No, maybe not. Just a bit too stringy. This bit. Maybe not. Yeah. Teeny tiny one. I'd be amazed how much this stuff stretches. You can always add a bit more on. There we go. Wrap it. Switch it round. JD.